Welcome. You know what they say? They say you are only as good as the company you keep. That's why I'm so excited about today's live stream, because we have really good company to keep. Two really smart, successful people in the financial services industry, my fellow financial advisors. Before I bring them in, I just want to say welcome to another episode of Be the Boss of Your Money, because I want you to be the boss of your money, not your money to be the boss of you. We're going to bring in two very special people, James Slaughter, and we are also going to bring in Eric Hagan from Minnesota, and James is from California. And we're going to hear what these guys have to say. So I'm going to run my little bumper intro. I'm going to do that right now, and then we're going to roll with it, and we're going to let the questions and the information fly, because these people literally want to help you out to be better with your money. Here goes. And we're back. Thank you for joining us. This is Be the Boss of Your Money. That's what I like to call my live stream. We have two phenomenally successful financial advisors with us. They have incredible perspectives. They've been at this business for a long time. So I'm going to bring them in one at a time. First one, I'd like to introduce everybody to James Slaughter. How are you, James?
Good, Mitch. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And I really appreciate you joining us. And just real quick, can you tell us a little something about yourself, where you're located, what you do, and how you do it?
Yeah, absolutely, Mitch. Thanks so much for the opportunity. So currently, my wife and I are actually up in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Our home is in Sacramento, California, but we needed a change of scenery for a couple of weeks. I run Sierra Ridge Wealth Management out in Sacramento, a large super OSJ, and excited to be on the call today and share some insights.
Pleasure to have you. And I want to bring in Eric Hagan. How are you, Eric? Great to see you, my man.
Hey, Mitch. Good to see you too. Yeah, thanks so much for having us on here today. This is pretty cool. I've seen a bunch of your videos, so this is kind of fun.
Thank you very much. I hope I did you guys justice in the introduction. I'm trying not to overdo it, but I mean it. You guys are phenomenal, and we're all friends. We all know each other. We're all on Facebook together, friends on Facebook. And we push each other. We we give each other energy, and that's what I love about this, And right. So why not have you guys on, And I hope all of you out there who are watching this will connect with these two gentlemen on LinkedIn, because they have a lot of smart things to say and a lot of very educational. These guys are educators. They're not the salesman type. They're the educators. These are like the professors of the industry. So Eric, where are you right now?
So, I'm actually at my office right now. I'm just a few miles outside of Minneapolis. Name of my firm is Capital Consulting Group. I'm a small business owner, kind of like James and you, Mitch, of course. We primarily serve individuals, couples who are in retirement, mostly around the Twin Cities area, but some extended all over the country. So,
well, I know people keep saying this. It's a strange time. It's a strange time. I'll never get used to what's taking place right now. I mean, I guess I will. I had a mask on yesterday when I went to Costco yesterday after work, and I did forget about wearing the mask for a while. So I guess maybe we could get used to this. But let me ask you something, Eric. How are your clients dealing with what's going on right now in the world? Not just financially, but the whole package of work from home, essential, non-essential, et cetera.
It's pretty quiet around here, honestly. If I could maybe just start out by saying my heart absolutely goes out to you, Mitch, and everybody out there in New York. A lot of eyes have been on New York and other pockets in the country. Here in Minnesota, I think we just hit 500 cases of the virus here. So, considering what's going on around in your neck of the woods, it's nothing like that here. So, from my perspective here, it's been less of a health issue and more of, the economic and the financial side of things. As you know, my wife is a nurse, so it's been a little bit nerve-wracking hearing about some of the things that they've been planning for and having to be ready for, and the picture that they've been painting on that. But again, heart just absolutely goes out to all you guys out there and what you're dealing with. For the most part, I see clients across the spectrum, right? So late in March, I had a couple of clients, of course, that called in just terrified, panicked, worried about what was going to happen. just concerned about the future, not knowing what was going to be coming. And so, we as advisors, we need to meet them where they're at, right? So we got to address that concern. And for those people, we might talk about, that we've been through times like this before, that the markets do this from time to time, that, we've been through it before, we'll get through this one too. And so we got to meet them where they're at. And then I had, clients who were, calling and saying, I got all this cash I've been sitting on, waiting for an opportunity. I've got these other investments that are liquid. They're not as aggressive. I want to get more aggressive. And so we've all been experiencing this pandemic, this economic crisis, the stock market gyrations, but how we feel them and how we experience them can be different for everybody. So I have people across the board, and it's been a learning experience for sure.
Well, let me ask you, James. How many financial advisors do you have now in your firm?
We have 9 financial advisors, and our 10th is coming on board in early June.
That's phenomenal. That's incredible growth you've had over the last 2 years or so, year and a half, 2 years. Yeah, and you also have a market person too, an investment strategist also.
We do. We have a marketing coordinator on staff, a advisor transition coordinator we recently brought on board. We have an in-house portfolio manager associate and staff to help all of the advisors and additional resources.
So what do you guys see with your clients? Do you see people frightened? Do you see people bold? Do you see people calm? How do what's your view from California?
Yeah. So certainly going back to the start of all of this, I think one thing that we've done successfully, as both of you have, is just to reach out and communicate with the clients and stay in contact with them. So we've had clients that have been personally affected. My wife and I, on my wife's side, we had a family member that passed away a few weeks ago to COVID-19.
Oh, wow. My heart goes out to your family. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's something that all of us have been touched in some way. And I think being there, not just from an investment standpoint, but being able to, reach out, talk with our clients, how are they doing, and making sure that they are taken care of, and if there's anything that we can do to help and support them, that's number one. And then as we move forward to the investment side of things and the planning side of things, I think it's just staying in continual communication with them on a consistent basis. And we don't have all the answers. We have an investment committee. We have staff that are way more knowledgeable than myself. We are following the market every single day, but there's a lot of outside variables and factors that are affecting the market right now. But we're trying to do a good job of communicating that with our clients and making sure that we're keeping a long-term perspective and focus on our investments. And I think we've done a very good job with that. And I think, we are positioning it as an opportunity. I think certainly going back to March and the lows, but even now, I think there's still a huge opportunity with a lot of sectors of the market and a lot of individual equity positions right now that if you have some time, 12 to 18 months, it is a great buying opportunity. And our clients across the board, I think, are taking that position.
Right. What I say to my clients as far as buying goes, I'm basically saying 3 things. Upgrade on the downgrade. So if you have an investment, a stock sector, whatever it may be, you don't find out all the time that until you have a really bad market that something isn't right for your portfolio or it's not working as expected. What I say is eliminate it, sell the position, and upgrade to something better, higher quality. What I also say to people is don't just buy something for the trade for today or tomorrow. Really look at it in terms of you've got to look at 2 years, 3 years, maybe even 1 year out, but take a perspective that's more than just the near-term volatility caused by the latest headline. Because if that's what you're doing, you're just going to wind up kicking yourself a lot, thinking to yourself, what the heck did I do this for? And the other thing is make sure that what I'm telling people is whatever we do, it has to fit in. And I know you guys are saying the same thing. It's got to fit in with the overall portfolio. It has to have a reason to be in the portfolio as opposed to just something that we can trade. Everyone says, well, you buy a stock to make money. No, we buy a stock or an ETF or whatever it is because it fits with the overall portfolio, and then we let the upside take care of itself. So that's our thing. But I think we all pretty much are looking for that. When somebody asks me, "What do you think the market's going to be?" Over the next 30 days, my answer is typically, I haven't thought of it. I really don't care. What do you think of that answer?
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. Statistically, the odds of the market moving in any direction in the short term are virtually 50-50. But if you look out longer term, like I was saying, we've been through times like this before, and we're going to get through this one too. And this could be one of those once in a decade buying opportunities. I think James is exactly right. I'll also just, as the three of us know, but definitely convey to the audience too, is that the investment advice that you're given, you need to consider that, like Mitch, you were saying, for your unique situation. So for anybody out there that is not working with an advisor right now, I'd say that you need one. Now is the time that advisors really shine. Now is the time that you really want to have that advocate who you can reach out to as a sounding board, to talk to communicate with, who knows your personal situation. And so if any of you guys are out there in Mitch's audience and you've been watching Mitch for a while, you're not working with him, you need to reach out to him and see what he could do in your personal situation. I can't stress that enough.
Thank you very much. And I feel the same way about you and James. Okay. Hey, look, I just a new client just came in. Well, no.
Yeah.
So, James, it's this whole social distancing thing has really just crushed the economy. But the market's starting to recover, and people always ask me, Mitch, why is the stock market up? And I have my answers. Why the market's up. It's not always tied to the economy at the current economy. It's tied to the future, or what we expect the future to be. But how do you explain to people, James, when the separation, the wall between the stock market and the economy?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mitch. So I think a big part of the stock market, as you mentioned, is the future. And I think a lot of investors are looking past the short term and focusing more on the future. The economy is starting to reopen over the coming weeks, but I think they're looking more at fourth quarter into 2021. And I think overall people are optimistic. And I think that's why we have seen, to some degree, the rally in the stock market. I also think part of that is the stock market sell-off may have been a little bit too severe initially. I think a lot of the earnings and the negative outlook that was priced into the market, as we're seeing some of the earnings coming out over last week and this week, and we'll see kind of in the near future, it wasn't quite as severe or bad for the first quarter as was anticipated. So I think that's caused a rally in the stock market, but I really think it's the optimism of the future and looking past second quarter and third quarter and focusing on fourth quarter and beyond, which is why we're seeing the stock market rally as much as it has.
Sure. And Eric, when you see the market up, I'm just going to see if I could do a quick share screen here. Okay, well, we're just going to take a look at this, and hopefully it'll be big enough that we can all see it. But this is the right side of this chart is as of today. And what strikes me is the NASDAQ actually went into positive territory for the year. So this is the first major benchmark to go into positive territory since the Great Recession. And even though the S&P and the Dow Jones, and by the way, you cannot invest directly into an index, but you could invest in a security that tracks or mimics an index. So I'm just getting this disclosure out for all of us. Okay, this applies for everybody. When you show this to people, do you think people, if you told people, would they believe? I don't know if they would believe it or not. But then you show them how well things are, and you say, the major averages, one of them is up on the year, two are down about 10% on the year. Eric, it turned out it's really not that bad of year. A lot of volatility, but up to this point, I think that people, have to realize that it's not as bad, the market anyway, as they thought. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think what James was saying is exactly right too. I like to look at the stock market is representative of expectations, and the economy is representative of reality. And it's this constant tug of war, this constant battle, this constant recalculating, repricing that is going on. And so what this could be telling us, this NASDAQ, this technology-heavy NASDAQ, is a shift that's happening, and a shift of expectations of what's going to be coming out in the future, as maybe more people are going to be working from home, relying on the technologies to do so. Where this tech-heavy benchmark is doing so much better than the other indexes, I think could be exactly right.
So let's put this up. These are the leaders, the big, FANG Plus: Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, which is the G for Google, Amazon, Netflix. You look at the rally in these stocks. Facebook up 41% since the March 23rd low, which is the low so far for this cycle that we're in. There have been a lot of opportunities. Now, some people have a problem with this because they feel that what you're really seeing right now are just 6 stocks, mega cap tech stocks, that are lifting the whole market. And I say to them, it is what it is. You don't get to invest in the market you want. You invest in the market that you have. I don't particularly think it's overly dangerous for this to happen, because if the smaller stocks were leading the way, and these were lagging, then somebody else would have something negative to say about that. But when people say that to you, well, it's just, and you feel free to disagree with me, but what do you think of that we have a market that is being so heavily led by a few generals?
Yeah, I can jump in there, Mitch. So we've been heavy on the technology space early on, and we have a very bullish outlook on all of these stocks, as well as many others in the technology space. I think our world, not just our industry, but our world has changed because of COVID-19. And I think there's going to be a substantial opportunity in the technology space moving forward. And I think you have to be taking advantage and positioned to take advantage of that going forward. I think there's still a lot of upside throughout this year moving forward in these companies, as well as many other technology-based companies.
I tend to agree. I do agree with that assessment. I'm pretty heavily into these particular, the tech sector in general. Okay, I don't want to get into recommending specific stocks. I'm just putting this up as the leaders. My sense is that, if you're a portfolio manager and you are looking to be in stocks that have some kind of growth, some kind of reliability, there really aren't too many other companies to choose from. That's what I think. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. We certainly want to focus on who's going to emerge from this environment the best. And again, not going into specific stock recommendations, but those technology companies sure seem to be the ones that are going to be coming through this the best, because they're weathering through this so well. I think we're in kind of a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of environment. As I think James was saying, the market is forward looking. It's discounting today, I think, way into the future. So I think we're 2 steps ahead right now. It's just what we want to look for. What are those hiccups in between now and then? But long term, definitely very, very bullish, along with you guys.
My feeling is we just today we had the 7th week in a row, the 7th Thursday, the 7th first time unemployment claims in a row, where it was just millions and millions of jobs. So we're down about 33.5 million jobs just in the last 7 weeks, which is more than all the jobs created since the Great Recession. Let me see if I could put up another screen here real quick. All right, we'll just do another quick share screen and take a look at this, because this is what people look at and say, what the heck is going on? Why would the market be up? And I want to just let people know that there's more to it, though, than just the job losses. My feeling is that tomorrow's job figures, it's tomorrow, we have the April non-farm payrolls coming out. I think it's irrelevant. I think it's the most irrelevant thing that we can look at. What's irrelevant are the next 4 Thursdays in a row, in my opinion, that as states have been reopening, that not only do we stop losing a lot of jobs, but we could even start putting more jobs back on the payrolls. Not to say we're going to get back to where we were 2 or 3 months ago, but at least we could start reversing the damage of these just massive job losses. You see this chart here, 33.5 million jobs lost in 7 weeks. It's the other two charts, the lines below, are measured in years. The top one is only a couple of weeks. It really is mind-boggling to take a look at that. So, James, as far as the securities industry goes, and that's ultimately that's our business. We are financial advisors. Do you see anything different, or basically is it more of a back to basics approach going forward, or a little bit of both in terms of how our industry needs to work with our clients?
Yeah, great question. And just to go back to the slide that you shared, I mean, those numbers are staggering. I mean, absolutely staggering. But I think you're also going to see those numbers come back down very quickly. And I'm very optimistic about, the strength of our economy, where we were back in January and February, and our ability, over the coming quarters to get back to where we were. It may take some time, but I think there's going to be tremendous opportunity and growth coming out of this. Now, in terms of us as advisors, how we need to be able to adapt and communicate and move forward with our clients, I do think it has changed. Sierra Ridge Wealth Management, our approach leading up to COVID-19, was very different than what we're focused on now and moving forward. We were very much event, face-to-face focused in terms of our communication and our workshops and our happy hour events with clients. We've switched gears completely to remote communication and remote WebExes and happy hour events. And I think for the time being, that's what we need to be able to do, just like what you're doing, Mitch, and communicating on a daily basis with your clients. This is what we have to be doing to stay in front of our clients and reassuring them. And most importantly, just having them know what our strategy is and having a game plan that's tailored to their situation. And I think advisors that don't adapt and change, I think are going to be some trouble going forward.
Yeah, I think it's probably already started for those who don't adapt and change, or who are just sitting on their hands waiting for things to get better, because we could be in the social distancing for many more months. It won't be to the extent that we've been in the last 3 or 4 or 6 weeks, but it certainly will continue, in my opinion, going forward as states open up with different strategies, different phases, and there could be different pockets of resurgence of COVID as well. Eric, would you deal with your clients? I heard both of you speak on a seminar, an online webinar recently, and you both had really just great things to say, and I was really happy that I was able to catch that in the replay. But you mentioned a couple of things about how you've changed with how you're working with clients, and somebody had asked you, what about people's ages? And I think what the people are getting at is, you deal with a lot of retirees. Look, there are some retirees who are over the age of, let's say, 80, octogenarians. And the feeling I got from you is that it's remarkable not only how people have adapted to Zoom calls and things like that, but you're actually teaching them how to use it. And now your clients are actually having Zoom calls with their families because you taught them to use Zoom to deal with you and your firm. I love that.
Yeah, it's neat. It's been fun. I do think that our retirees need to be given a little bit more credit. They're a little bit more tech savvy than maybe we all think. But yeah, it's been real fun. As James said, I've completely switched 100% virtual, doing Zoom calls with people, integrating different technologies to coordinate calendars and things like that. But yeah, there have been a number of clients that I've gotten on a Zoom call with. They didn't know how to get on. I just pick up the phone and walk them through it. And the technology has gotten so easy that it's pretty straightforward to do that, whether they're on their iPad at the kitchen table or on their computer in the corner, or what have you. So it's been a fun experience, because anytime that we can add value, I know you two agree. Anytime that we can add value, which is what we do, that's where our hearts are at. For our clients, it's just a really fun experience. But as James was saying, going 100% virtual, we are deemed an essential service, so we have kept the office open. I do have one person working from home. 2 of us are still coming in, staying away from each other in the office, but doing Zoom calls. phone calls when necessary, online scheduling so people know how to get a hold of us. They can carve out a time without having to play phone tag. I do, for years, I've been recording a weekly economic update every Monday morning, emailing that off to all clients.
And that's on YouTube?
That's on YouTube, and I post it on our website. And the main thing is I send a link to clients to go see that. With you and your inspiration, I may start doing that live. We'll see here.
Love to help if you have any questions about it.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
And James, let's just ask James. James, you put out a markets report. I've read it. It's really good. It's really complete and really concise and really absorbable.
Yeah, thanks, Mitch. Yeah, we our portfolio management associate Tim Watkins and our investment committee put together a capital markets outlook every week that we send out. We broadcast email through our CRM to all of our clients on a weekly basis. And then we also host every 2 weeks a webcast, live webcast, where we have different analysts come in and talk on different topics. And similar to what you're doing here, not quite as frequent. We promote that weekly to our clients and also on our website as well, just to provide opportunities for clients to come in and hear from different experts in our industry and what their thoughts are on different sectors of the market.
I forget which one of you said, knowing it. Well, something was sparked in my mind that, look, I don't think clients expect us to know everything. I think the expectation is that we will control what we could control. In particular, we help people, we stop people from acting on their worst impulses, like fear and greed. And we take the time to make sure that people are continuously investing in their 401k plans, or that they have their investments divided up properly, asset allocated. So when they have cash obligations, that money is already in cash well in advance, so that they're not forced to sell shares in a down market and suffer from a negative sequence of returns, things like that. So I think we're all pretty much doing that. And as far as the future of our industry goes, is it basically you have to be as good with technology as you are with your people skills? What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I think that you definitely have to be good with technology. This is most certainly a relationship business, and the relationship that we have with our clients is the most important thing. Technology is just a conduit to help us see more people and serve more people. And that's what it's allowed me to do is I love having people to the office, and we usually carve out an hour to do that. But these Zoom calls have kind of helped us get to the nuts and bolts of what needs to be covered and what needs to be gone over. And so it's really helped serve more people, see more people, talk to more people, and do a better job at what we're doing.
Okay. And James, you do a lot of really cool events, and is it like the roof of your office building has like an outdoor deck or whatever? Is that those are the pictures?
Yeah, beautiful outdoor patio that overlooks downtown Sacramento, and it's one of the reasons we chose that as our home office.
So, what do you think it's going to be regarding the future of recruiting advisors? Because it seems there's a lot less of us coming into the business. So it's basically the industry has become, a matter of market share, not a matter of growth. That's the way I see it. How do you guys, James, how do you expect to recruit people now that you're not going to be having the same events that you had? And I know you're not going to stop, so I'm just curious what you're going to do to change.
Yeah, so it actually surprisingly to me during this time, many advisors, actually substantially more than is typical for us, have been open to a conversation and are taking a step back to really just reassess where they are and where they want to be. And I think, certainly with COVID-19, initially everyone was focused, all the advisors were focused on reaching out to all of their clients. Now that the dust has settled, they're really taking a step back and seeing, okay, what is my broker dealer, my firm providing to me? And is it worth staying here or possibly making a change? So we've seen actually a substantial uptick in the interest from experienced professionals out there. And we have quite a few conversations going right now with some different advisors around the area. But I also feel that as an industry, we are not doing a good job with bringing in the next generation of advisors. That is something that I think is a huge mistake. And I feel that too many firms are just focused on the experienced advisors, and that age is getting older and older. And there has to be a plan in place. So, it's a balance. We certainly are focused on recruiting experienced professionals, but we also are looking to bring in newer blood into the industry, sometimes even in advisor support roles, to train them and get them experienced. But I think if you miss the boat on that, eventually you're going to be in trouble from a firm level. And we're trying to balance both at Sierra Ridge Wealth Management.
Eric, how about you? You have plans for growth. You're in a pretty good position. You've got a lot of clients. You do terrific business, and you're always, you're doing everything right. What do you see for the future of your own firm and for the business in general?
Appreciate you saying that. I'd love to talk to you, James, sometime about recruiting. I have not done that. I'd love to look into it.
I want to also, James.
I think
That's what I'm asking.
You're doing a fantastic job, obviously, James. So yeah, I'd love to look into that. As far as growth, I'm looking to grow our team right here and grow the number of people that we serve and really focus on just our office. But I think James is touching on a lot of things that are important that we as advisors in the industry right now are doing, and that is making ourselves available for next generation, bringing in the next advisors. The three of us are all independent advisors. I think that the future is independent. Mitch, when you asked that question about the future of our industry, I think the future is independent. It's the independent advisor where there is nothing between us and our client that can interfere with the advice that we're giving to our client.
Right. We are the fiduciaries. Mm-hmm. We are the ones who eliminate conflict of interest.
Right.
Because we work for the client. We don't work for a large behemoth of a firm. We work directly for the client. We don't manufacture products. It's simply a service industry.
Exactly. Cannot agree more.
I want to just see if we have a few people out there. We got a heart from my wife, Judy. How can we get a heart from any of your wives, guys? I don't get that.
Uh-oh.
My friend Tom is out there. Okay. I'll give you that. How many kids do you have now, Eric?
7 kids.
They're all gorgeous. 7.
It's all my wife.
Okay, good for you. And they're all beautiful. And we've got a few people out there. My friend Bill is out there. Hey, Bill. Hey, Patty. Good to see you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we'll just take a look real quick to see if anybody's out there in LinkedIn land. This is like one of my favorite parts of my live streams, to see who's out there, And we've got Priscilla out there. Priscilla is a watcher of my streams. Christine Wasp is out there. And guys, I really appreciate it. And hello to Demetrios and hello to Priscilla. So guys, thank you so much for watching us. So James, Eric, I want to thank you guys. We're on for just a little over a half hour now. So I guess it's like time to, they pull you off the stage after that. So we will catch up very soon. I thank you both so much for taking this time. I learned a lot here, and you guys have me even more motivated to conquer the world tomorrow. So there's a little bit of background music. It's not me getting sappy. It's someone's got an iPhone walking by with a little music on. But I'll catch you guys very soon.
Yeah,
in the broadcast.
For having us on. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Mitch. Bye-bye.
It's my pleasure.